I don't know what's funnier. The fact that Troy needed help from freaking Scooby-Doo, or the fact that Scooby-Doo was voiced by freaking Loretta Devine.
Ooh, I'm black and I'm proud. I'm black, they can't keep me down. I'm black and black with a smile. A black beam of the man.
Hey y'all, it's Producer, and today I'm covering episode 7 of Dear White People. It's season 2, it's volume 2, and this Troy was looking like Janae Aiko with this man's on his shrooms on a bad trip. Well, I guess this shouldn't be a bad trip because like he could still speak coherently, but the man was seeing eyes and talking and waving to things that didn't exist, and Lord have mercy. But yeah, this was I watched this and episode 8, and I wanted to do episode 8 today, but that's probably not gonna happen because I need to break the episode down a bit more. A lot of things flew past my head, but I appreciate this episode a lot more now knowing what happens in episode 8 because this episode was heavy and this one was nice and lighthearted. Well, relatively lighthearted. But let's get into it. So the episode starts off with a flashback, and Troy is, according to the dean, cooning for these white boys. And I said parentheses cooning for these white boys, but I mean technically you are cooning for these white boys. But it's technically because like you didn't really go out with the stereotypes. But you well, actually, no. If he knew what you did with these Richard Pryor jokes and shit, and apparently you did a freaking um, Maya Angelou impression with the N word in there, yeah, that's actually cooning. But that's not what the dad knows, so that's why that was cooning. You did coon, but that's not what the dad knows. Anyway, and he's upset with him, so he's like, now this is weird because how it's set up, it sounds like this happened in freshman year. But anyway, so this really cool lighting effect because they take him down to the Black Illuminati. And I was really expecting Beyonce and Jay-Z to be there. But yeah, it was really cool. The lighting was a green haze and stuff. Maybe that's a metaphor to the fact that Troy's high a lot. I don't know. But Troy is basically told that he is a legacy and he's part of the 1% of the 1%, and they need to uphold this, and he needs to fulfill his legacy by being their legacy. Well, his father's legacy. Which is an interesting premise for a movie, I guess. But Troy's has had it. He has had it of being freaking perfect. That's what the window smashing meant. I said earlier, we need an episode on like why that was good for him. But that's why. When he smashed the window, he smashed everybody's expectations. I mean, he shattered everyone's expectations in a bad way. But it was good for him because he's like, I got no worries. I got no worries. And he does whatever, which is liberating for him. So in this first tornado path, as Coco calls it later on, he tries to do comedy because he never was able to do it before because his dad just wants him to see it. His dad doesn't want him to be like the black token on SNL. And his comedy routine was really bad. I didn't really laugh. Honestly, I didn't even think the Indian guy was pretty funny. Like, I'm so Indian that... Okay, no. Maybe it's because... I think that's because that's a tired-ass Indian joke, but... I wasn't here for that. And then, he tries to, like, fuck his problems away, and, well... First of all, I don't appreciate that you're fucking Muffy. Why Muffy? And Muffy fake as shit, too. She was like, I don't want to hurt my girlfriend, but... That's, I like being up there in these circles. Girl, you fake as shit with your Pegasus built ass. And then, so he goes to Kurt and he talks about his issues. And he's like, well, if you want to be funny, you need to find a good route. Because how you're attacking it being a funny black guy, it's not a good route. And then these fucking white boys make me fucking cackle. Because they was like, oh, these are how they attack comedy. And... like, if you listen, this bitch was like, oh, what is it? Playing devil's advocate, unrelenting devil's advocate, or am I? And then the other guy was like, life is pointless, so let's make fun of it. And the other guy, actually, I don't remember what the other guy was saying, but the point is, they had comedy routines that made sense. Troy's was like, oh, I'm the funny black guy. Bitch with no theme. I just thought it was funny with the juxtaposition. And then, so Kurt was like, let me help you out. And then the rest of this episode is a blur. So Kurt gives him the motherfucking shrooms to help him get inspired. And when I say the shrooms, I mean the parasects. I mean the humongous. I mean the fungus. I mean the breadlooms. That bitch was like, well, actually, no, I take that back because he wasn't like that at first. At first, this nigga was like, oh my gosh, I have such a high tolerance because I smoke a lot. And then he looks at the sky and the moon fucking drops like this fucking Majora's Mask. And I was like, oh shit, that hit him hard. And then they start walking and try to act like they're really deep, but they're not. And they're doing whatever. And then Troy gets an interesting vision, I guess. Well, hallucination. He sees, he finds one of his own campaign papers, and he basically sees it, and it has him crying. He's like, could everyone else see how sad I was? And that was possibly one of the more thought-provoking moments of the episode, but it was undercut by some bathos by him just fucking comically running away. But, so he tries to figure out what the tea is on his life through looking through other people's lenses, which I thought was interesting. Nice writing choice, I guess. So, first was Reggie, who was the main one to help him on his campaign trail. And basically what we learned from Reggie is that Reggie helped him out get the black vote because he told him to be with Sam. And, because Sam was head of the BSU, and if you could get Sam's vote, you get the BSU's vote. Which was a smart campaign strategy. What was not a smart strategy was Reggie sounding like a fucking 6th grader. Oh, I hacked her, helped her computer, and I set a little virus so she'll come back for me more. Like, bitch, if you don't leave her alone and stop harassing her. But anyway, so he learns that he liked Sam this entire time, and well, he was disregarding those emotions because he just pursued Sam and all he really wanted was himself. He was selfish for himself. And also, by the way, that line, like, oh, you sort of like, you're a token black character and your whole point in this predominantly white sitcom is to make to make people laugh. And when he said, oh, I look like Bill Nye, the science Negro or science nigga, something like that. And he was like, that's literally a line that like Carlton would say. And I was that, okay, he didn't say Carlton, but he was basically, that is sort of what he was giving me, that type of tease. And so he learns that from Reggie. Then he goes to Sam. And what we learned from that is that they had a very nice and intimate relationship. And he said some really nice things. We're like, oh, there's no flaws on your fat ass, which I do not know where that's at. Your mind, your face, and your body. And I thought that was very deep for someone that cannot hold a stable relationship because he fucking cheated on her with somebody. I think it said who it was, but the point is, he was about to fucking go, and he let this white girl call her like chocolate drop or something. So, yeah, you need to calm your dick. And then so he starts burning his clothes because the nigga's still high. This is one of the more sober moments of the show. He starts burning his clothes for no real reason. And then Coco drags the shit out of him because he's like, oh, you jump off the boat of your father's protection into the icy cold waters. And you're asking for a life vest. Well, Troy, I only have one life vest. And it's taken. And I was like, damn, Coco, because she basically was saying that he does not know how to get his life together at all. And she was glad that she got off of his tornado path because she's getting her life together and he's not. And there was something else that she said too. I can't remember it, but I'm probably gonna remember it much later. But yeah, I thought, well, like, damn, Coco, you went in hard. And then after that, we get Troy, like I said, getting help from fucking Scooby-Doo, aka Loretta Devine. And I watched too much Carmichael Show because I instantly knew it was Loretta Devine too. And then she was helping him out, like, oh, Troy, you need to figure out who you are, because you're obviously not your emotions, you're not your thoughts, you're not your consciousness, and you're certainly not your body, as all these other people say. And so he goes into a fountain and he strips down naked and he somehow gets reborn and he sees something. I don't know. And then there's like a funny joke about how Troy is straight and these gays sort of deserve them, entitled bitches. And Lionel helps him get to bed. And I thought this is something, I don't know if this is purposeful, but Troy is upside down on the bed, but then it flips around and is right side up, which I think is supposed to show that he's no longer high off these shrooms. I don't know if that was purposeful, but that was my interpretation of it. And then his father pretty much drags him for like, oh, you're letting us down, the Black Illuminati. He didn't say that, but I'm pretty sure it's the Black Illuminati. Because he kept seeing it. I didn't say that, but throughout the episode, he kept seeing the Black Illuminati, which is like representation of him, like, oh, the pressures, they're looming around me for me to be a person that I don't want to be. But yeah. Oh, and also, they're always watching. He always has to be perfect because they're always watching. Anyway, Troy's like, I want to be myself. And his father's like, what? Why? And he's like, because all I've ever done was do what you want to do. Everything that you've told me was for your interests. I don't want to be a puppet. You did that to Reg. You let him make his own decisions. Why don't you let me make mine? And they both smoke weed together, which was very... I was shook by that. And then the episode ends with Troy telling some pretty interesting jokes. I mean, not interesting. Sort of actually funny jokes. I like this episode. It was very lighthearted. It had some interesting, I guess, cinematography choices. The plot itself was very interesting. And I thought, and Brandon P. Bell did some phenomenal acting. Have y'all noticed that when he was high, he had like these big ass eyes and stuff, and how his mannerism would change? It was superb acting, in my opinion. But yeah, I liked the episode. The comedy was sort of there. It wasn't not funny, but I mean, it wasn't the funniest episodes. But it's up there. It's up there. Out of the 7 episodes, it's definitely up there. But yeah, I like it. Tell me what y'all think of the episode in the comments below. And by the way, we've reached 31 subscribers. Thank y'all so much. This isn't a milestone, so I'm not getting y'all special, but I just want to thank y'all so much for being there, especially Dewan H, or Dewan H, I'm not too sure how you pronounce it. You have been always, oh, and Brene Butler. How can I be so rude to my homegirl? She actually was a good friend of mine and went to school with me. But yeah, y'all been a good, y'all been commenting. I see y'all been liking. So, thank y'all for that. And I will see y'all sometime with episode 8.
You black and you love it, put your hands up. If you black and in public, put your hands up.